Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the second group, which is consists of 3 people. I'm Qanitah Amaliah and my friends Audya, Intan, Mutiarani, and Okta Firdaus will present our presentation about basic economic principles, which will be continued by my friends Audya, Intan. Time is yours.
The definition economic principles are a guide in economic activity to achieve a rational comparison between the sacrifice incurred and the result obtained. Next slide. A kind of economic principle, namely decision that involve or trade-off. So, it involves the ability to make decision at the cost of something else. One can afford to give up something to get something more. For example, in our daily life, namely when you want to go to work within a month using a motorbike or using public transportation, if he uses a motorbike, he has to buy a motorbike and refuel. The advantage is that in addition to the faster time needed to get to work, the cost per day is also cheaper. In contrast to using public transportation, it has to pay cheaper fees every day, but the time efficiency of getting to the workplace is longer than using a motorbike. The use of this time is also a consideration of worth. This requires an early decision in order to get more efficient profit. The cost that must be sacrificed to get something or opportunity cost. It has been found that most individuals generally face difficulty disgusting because between costs and benefits. In an economic sense, one must sacrifice something to take action systematically. It has been found that most individuals generally face difficulty discussing between costs and benefits. In an economic sense, one must sacrifice something to take action systematically. People think rationally on profit or margin. A personal will think rationally to get benefit and what are the loss from the opportunities chosen. One should always make small changes in the action plan to get the maximum benefit from the whole process. Next slide, please.
Next is community response to incentives. The behavior of an individual is likely to change according to various types of environmental variables such as benefits or change in cost according to the economy. An example is when the cost of apples increases, consumer will prefer to buy guava or something else cheaper because of the higher cost of apples. And as we know, if we talk about the community response in this situation, I think there is a new hobby in society that is cycling. The producer took advantage of the situation, so bicycle prices soared. The next is trading activity that makes the whole situation better. Trade is likely to occur between the countries that produce it and for no other reason. According to economics, trade between these parties tends to make goods cheaper. Yeah, because we as a human have many desires but limited production. So for make it easier to meet the needs, to fulfill our needs, we need bilateral relationship. The next is the market is the best place for economic activity. The market economy concept will help to carry out a centralized planning process. Market is a place where communication occurs between consumers and producers or distributors also. In the market, there's a version for the value of an item so that the price change. In my opinion, at the market, if we can see the opportunity as a producer or distributors, we know how to play the price. It will be a good place to achieve maximum profit, but of course, still in within reasonable limits. Next.
The next is the role of the government in managing market result. It is the government responsibility to enforce proper regulation to improve market condition. The government can also intervene in the economic field through the market by helping traders in the market so that it can be benefit both seller and buyers. And then the standard of living depends on the capacity of the individual to produce goods. The standard of living of people in a particular country depends on the production capacity according to economic theory. The living standards of these countries are high, where goods and produce in large quantities. Um, then price increase or inflation when the government prints excess money. In an economy, inflation is likely to occur when there is an extensive supply of money in relation to goods and service produced on the market. In certain cases, when the government generates a higher amount of money, a country is likely to lose value. Then short-term trade-off between employment and inflation. In the economic field, policies made to reduce inflation will increase the unemployment rate. Then the policy to reduce unemployment that leads to increased inflation is known as the Philip curve. Next is
Next slide. Yeah. Economic principle in economic activity, namely production, distribution, and consumption. Right?
okay.
First, economic principle in production activities. Example of application are opening a business place that is close to raw materials, labor, or marketing areas. Second, using a skilled workforce, using the best quality raw materials but at the cheapest price, using resources such as capital, labor, and time as efficiently as possible, using modern machines with high productivity but a low cost, determine a profitable selling price, and last, determine the goods and service to be produced. Next slide.
Okay.
Second, economic principle in production activities. Example of application are improve service quality, delivery of goods on time, using distribution facilities at low price, buy goods from producer directly, provide goods and services that are popular for consumer, buy goods at the right manufacturers, determine of location of the company that is between producer and consumer. Person.
The third is economic principle in consumption activities. There are several examples. The first is buy quality goods. Uh, the second is buy items at affordable or cheap prices. The next is make a list of items needed. The next is choose an item before buying it. Hold a bargain before buying goods and able to control expense, of course, by paying attention to your income. Next. In general, the use of economic principles has the following objectives. The first is maximizing profits, where we get the maximum results. The next is minimizing losses with the smallest sacrifice. The next is prevent wasteful consumption, and the last using the capabilities and capital they have. Next.
Okay. Um, the characteristic of people who apply economic principle include um, first, be thrifty. Someone in taking economic action always avoid waste by buying things that are really needed. Second is develop a priority skill. In meeting their needs, someone makes an order of meeting their needs based on the level of importance. The priority scale starts from meeting the most urgent needs to those whose fulfillment can be deferred. Then act rational. In carrying out economic activities or action, always use common sense, not based on emotion or passion. Uh, then calculating profit and loss. In carrying about economic activities, always take into account the advantage and disadvantage that will be obtained.
Okay. Okay, benefits of economic principles. The following are the benefits of applying economic principle. Next. The first is optimizing exciting recourse to obtain maximum benefit. Second is work economically, quickly, and precisely to minimize the risk of loss or damage. The third is reach goal on time and successfully to achieve the desired level of prosperity. The fourth is achieve work results that are guaranteed quality to meet the satisfaction level of economic actors. The last is life ahead in healthy compensation.
Okay.
That's all our presentation. Less and more, please forgive. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.